input. Are we on? 6 seconds in and I don't even know if we're on or not. Are we back? Are we on the air? And we're back. You're watching FTN News Tonight. I'm Greg Jagers 1113. We're sorry about that technical difficulty. As the fully transition races to complete this cabinet before Sunday, and we're now gonna before we end the show, we're now gonna go over those cabinet picks, and then after that will be the Rockefeller report. If George Rockefeller is available, because he's offline the majority of the time. We're going to start from the beginning. As his first cabinet nominee, he picked Savage Yada to be the next Secretary of State. Savage Yada quit and is no longer going to be the Secretary of State. His nomination ended, and the second nomination was Tactical Rock 101 for Secretary of Defense, and then the next day he nominated Bayanihan Filipino to be the Secretary of the DOT. He resigned from the community, and Tom Foley became the White House Chief of Staff, and Deslinos, Secretary of Homeland Security. Insert failure, National Security Advisor. And Ollie Fletcher, next Attorney General. Football Pro 140, SWAT Commander. Dastic, Director of National Intelligence. War Jake 32, next UN Ambassador. OU1T Law, or Outlaw, will be the next, is going to actually be the SWAT Commander. 24 Craft will remain as the Secretary of Commerce and Labor. And Max Rockefeller will will remain as Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Brand TVX will be the Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence. Roe Files will be the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Frost Sites will be Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security. The President-elect has to nominate Rahale Kemal and Fatherview to be Director and Deputy Director of the CIA, and Vivek Sela and Cryptonic Data for Director and Deputy Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. And President-elect will intend to appoint Broken Limit and Lord Migos to be the next Director and Deputy Director of the National Security Agency. Hux Download will be Deputy National Security Advisor. And then the controversial ones begin to come in. Spanish and Turkish Head will be the Director and Deputy Director of the Federal Protective Services. Alexavian and Tim Culture will be the Director and Deputy Director of the Treasury. Rummy Cross, Secretary of the Navy. Kind Vihi and Leonardo Castwell, Director and Deputy Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Apollo N. Fulton, Secretary of the Navy. Chubby 215, Secretary of the Air Force. Luck X, Deputy White House Chief of Staff. I'm so say A, Principal Deputy White House Chief of Staff. President-elect will nominate Hello H, Deputy Attorney General. Helen _IC will be Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs. And Matt Grayson will be the Deputy Director of National Intelligence. Stampy L. Fulton will be Deputy UN Ambassador. And Vip Ernest will be Deputy Secretary of State. Tactical Jester, Deputy Secretary of Defense. President-elect will nominate Nutia and Firius the Wolf to be Deputy and Chief of the Bureau of Prisons. And Max Foley, XD, and Kenzo Savage 12 will be Director and Deputy Director of the Defense Force Protection Agency. Jerry Dearest and All-Star 14923 will be Director and Deputy Director of the Diplomatic Security Service. Things are getting real interesting. Here we're having a lot of nominations. Valx and Sloppy Tan Man 12 will be the next Director and Deputy Director of the Secret Service. And Savory Soup will be the next Press Secretary. And Ryan Forehead and Rylang Forehead will be the Deputy Director of the Federal Protective Services. And this is an interesting one. Here we go. President-elect Ralph Foley will nominate Tactical Riptide to be the Vice Chief of Staff of the Navy. He and Edward Montana, Vice Chief of Naval Operations. Archie Britt, Assistant Commandant to the Marine Corps. Arthur Chen, next Vice Chief of Staff for the Air Force. Dom 11229, Deputy Combatant Commander, USSO COM. He nominates our FTN's President, John of Doom, to be Deputy Combatant Commander, CONCOM, and Diego Pendragon to be Vice Chief of Space Force Operation. That's a very big nomination for FTN News because John of Doom is going to be busy now. John of Doom is now going to be busy. It won't be. I was going to give you a show. I was going to give you a show, and now you're probably going to say, I'm going to step back a little bit and only do a few. Maybe I might do a talk show. Yeah, I'm going to try to get him to do a comedy show or whatever. But still. And also, they are complaining about the GFX girl in this. But yeah, okay, yeah, you can complain about the GFX girl. I don't even know who the GFX person is. And so then we have even more Joint Chiefs of Staff nomination. We have even more Joint Chiefs of Staff nominations. We're not going to read them to you because they are, dead access, Chief of Staff of the Army. Afrix Vix, Chief of Naval Operations. Arzuri Brid, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Ip Manitou, Chief of Staff of the Air Force. Carnage Culture, Combatant Commander, USSO COM. Sam Shulpin II, Combatant Commander, CONCOM. And Northern Darkness, Chief of Space Force Operations. Out One Law will be the SWAT commander, people like that. And Benedict Coides Demos is going to be Secretary of State due to Savage Yada possibly leaving the community. He said, quote, "Never mind, I quit. Savage Yada is done." We do not know what that means by saying, "I quit. Savage Yada is done." Okay, we are, that is all for FTN News Tonight. I'm Great Jagers 1113. For now, I'm gonna end the stream and off I go. I have to go to DOT patrol. But until next time. Good night. See you tomorrow.